The grandson came to the village to visit his grandfather in early spring, to help after the winter, patch up the roof, clear the yard. The old house stood at the edge of the settlement, next to the forest, with birds singing and the full sense of time standing still. In the morning, he decided to clear out the overgrown junk behind the shed. There, among the firewood, rusty barrels, and an abandoned walk-behind tractor, under a tarp half buried in the ground, he saw the outline of a car. At first, he didn't believe it. It looked like part of a trailer. But when he pulled off the old, battered cover, his heart started racing. Standing before him was a 1968 Dodge Charger, the real deal. Rusty, worn out, with peeling paint, its rear wheels sunken into the earth. It looked like the car had tried to hide from time, and lost. The body still bore traces of its old green paint, almost entirely devoured by rust. The interior was a disaster: rats, mold, the upholstery crumbled at a touch. But the body held up. And the lines, those iconic, legendary lines. Straight, muscular, full of character. He started with the basics, cleared the bushes around it, removed the debris, dug out the earth from under the rear wheels, which had nearly fused with the ground. Jacks, boards under the frame, a tow strap, chains, all manual. He dragged the car out as best he could, towing it with his old crossover, risking snapping a lever or cable. It took half a day, but finally, the Charger stood in the sunlight, for the first time in 30 years. Next came the tow truck. The car was unstable, the rear axle was rotted through, so they had to secure it not by the wheels, but to reinforced parts of the frame that were still holding on. The full teardown began in the garage. He removed the hood, doors, bumpers, headlights, all by hand and with WD-40. Many bolts had to be cut off with an angle grinder. The rust had turned everything into solid metal. First came the engine, the original 440 Magnum. Inside, a mess. The pistons were seized, the crankshaft wouldn't turn, the heads were cracked. The block went in for resurfacing, and everything inside was replaced: forged pistons, a performance camshaft, reinforced pushrods, new valve springs. Intake, aluminum Edelbrock, carburetor, Holley 750 CFM, ignition system, MSD with electronic control. After sandblasting, the body looked like a sieve. The rocker panels, arches, and lower door sections were replaced. Everything was welded with millimeter precision, seams sealed, cleaned, and covered with seam sealer. Then came epoxy primer, acrylic base coat, and 3 layers of clear. The color, deep black, glossy like a mirror. The chrome was polished, the grille replaced with an RT-style replica. The rear lights, original, restored by hand. The interior was reupholstered, seats covered in dark leather with red stitching, Alcantara headliner, new carpeting, 2-layer sound insulation on the floor and doors. The instrument panel, autometer in a retro style, the steering wheel, wooden with aluminum inserts. The entire wiring harness was replaced with a modern one, including a compact fuse box. The suspension was redone, adjustable QA1 coilovers, polyurethane bushings, Willwood disc brakes front and rear. A new steering rack, power steering system. New brake and fuel lines. The gas tank was replaced with an aluminum one, and the fuel pump was electric, with high-pressure filters. The car came to life. It started on the first try. The engine growl was deep and confident, like a beast finally waking up. A smooth roll out of the garage, the shine of the paint under the sun, the roar of the exhaust, it was like a scene from a movie. He brought it back to where it all began, that same yard where it had stood for 30 years. The car had returned home, no longer a rusted wreck, but as if it had just rolled off the assembly line. This was more than a restoration. It was the return of a legend. A car once forgotten, now alive again. And it connected 2 generations with one story, written in metal, oil, and willpower.